So the day has finally come. It is now time to take apart literally the entire studio. If you guys don't know, this location of True Sound Studios, we sold our house and our studio. It is time to get out of here. Me and my wife are moving to a new home, and we're gonna build a brand new studio. So today, I am going to take apart literally everything. Everything is coming out of here. Pretty much the only thing we're leaving up is, you know, the walls, ceiling, floors, that type of stuff. So, yeah, let's get to it.
True Sound Studios is in your ears.
Okay, guys, so the first thing I'm going to do is, well, obviously power this down. But what I'm going to do is, the only way I could find that I thought would be a good way to be able to transport all these. Now, at first, I was just going to leave them right in these racks since they pull apart from the mixing console itself right here. And I was just going to transport them like this. But because this is going in a storage pod for like, well, month, 2 months, if anything fell on it during transport, you know, some of these things, like especially the API stuff that I personally rebuilt, you know, I just don't know if any of that would last with all these knobs and switches and stuff on the front. So I'm going to take them and I'm going to tilt them up so that the rack front plate is like this. I'm going to screw them to some 2x4s so that I can put it in a big box and I can put bubble wrap and stuff all around it. The 2x4s will be on the bottom, so that'll take any impact. And then you know, I'll put some sort of soft something on top of them. Well, obviously to cushion it, just in case anything fell or the box collapsed. But these are obviously all metal, so they're pretty tough. So I'm going to go ahead and pull cables out of all this, power this down, and then I'll show you guys how I'm going to pack up and move all this stuff.
It's True Sound in your ears. Lean up that track. True Sound in your ears. It's a Cadillac. It's True Sound in your ears. I'm all up in your ears, man. It's True Sound in your ears.
Okay, last couple pieces of gear. There we go. That is one empty rack. So that is all the gear from the one rack, minus a few things. The API is over there, and there's a couple pieces of gear in the back that still need a little repair. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking how to move these. I'd do something like this, and then what I'm gonna do is, you know, kind of like I'm just mounting it to a piece of rack anyways. So got a screw and a washer. You know, you don't want to damage anything. Kind of like that, and then it'll sit in the box like this, and the other piece of wood will go in the back to help support it. Obviously gonna put the more expensive pieces of gear towards the middle of it just in case. And I'm just going to do that for this whole thing. Just make sure that these are upright. And I'm just going to put all that gear onto here, and then we'll kind of see how much room is left in that box. And you know, at this point, I obviously just don't want anything to be damaged, so that's what it looks like. So I screwed them all in at the very top and the very bottom. You can see it's a little angled because you know, some of the actual inner width is a little different, and I just didn't really care. But yeah, so now it's like one big mass. Yeah, now it's time to try to get it into one of those moving boxes. So on all these boxes, I've, you know, just gonna put normal stuff in here. I just have been putting one piece of this paperized tape, but because this one really matters, I'm gonna just put some extra tape on here just to help support this bottom. So now I'll flip this upside down. And yeah, here we go. Let's see how this is gonna work. This thing is so heavy. That wasn't as smooth as I was hoping for. So right now the whole thing's leaning. So I need to get this piece of wood. There, I mean that's pretty good. So I got plenty of room in the front here. I can put something, and maybe I can even put a couple pieces of gear in the back there. Just don't waste a ton of this, but I'm just afraid that this box is going to be so heavy Okay, so now we are at this rack. Got to get all this stuff out of here, and I'm kind of happy to get rid of this. So this is actually a steel framed one, and the problem is so many of when I bought this, so many of the threads were screwed up. They probably put the wrong bolts or whatever you want to call it through here to mount them, each of these in here. So I'm actually going to be rebuilding this one and the other one over there, and just building some brand new ones. They're both going to match, not like it really matters that much, but I want to rebuild the way the console sits anyways. It's just up a little too high. There's just things I want to change. So instead of trying to, make these fit into the new studio, I'm just going to redo them. I'm not going to have a studio for a month and a half. This is like my last chance to really just kind of make this exactly the way I want. Gonna start taking all this gear out of here and do the exact same thing I did with the other one. Okay, so for the most part, this thing is empty. Power supplies and the converters and the Apogee Big Ben. I wanted to keep the music going here, but I guess it just doesn't really make any sense. This is the gear just from that one rack. It doesn't include the 2 SSL converters and the Apogee. Plus I have the API stuff over there, and there's a couple more pieces of gear on the floor. So looks like I'm probably gonna need 2 more of these big boxes just to get the rest of this gear into some safe storage. So anyways, I think it's time to move some speakers out of the way and really start pulling a whole bunch of cables here. Okay, so I've kind of gotten sick and tired of those box things that I was building. So this is actually the rack that was right next to the console right here. And all I did was I kind of disassembled it and just made it into a flat rack so that, so that both sides of it are all gear. This way, what I'm going to do is wrap a blanket over the front here, go over and then to the back, and then I'll shrink wrap the crap out of it. And I think that should be good because, I'm packing it, and I'll make sure that nothing is going to roll around in front of it and protect all this nice gear. Okay, so this whole setup up here, like my digital controls, I got my keyboard. So this is just really simply just a wireless keyboard, so nothing special about that. Just a little tray I made. Soft tube console 1, literally just one USB. This doesn't actually do anything. This is just like a controller for the plugin, but it has to be literally one of my most used plugins now. It is just so easy, and it's amazing on drums and guitars and stuff like that. I really love this thing. But as you can see, this is just, I haven't taken this stuff off in forever. But I cut through this piece of, I don't know, I think they call it the armrest. Ran some of the cabling through here, and you can see they're 90-degree cabling too, just so they take up a little less space. And then you have the little PreSonus fader port. But as you can see, if I didn't have any of this stuff here, this would be a nice big armrest, but we live in the digital age. Currently right now, this is the vocal booth. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Not too bad. The mics are down, and about the only thing I've done is right there used to be the patch bay, so all the connections, and that is all taken apart, and those are all the connectors on the ground, and all the wires been pulled through. And the recording computer, the heart of the studio beside the mixing console, is out of the back room, the storage room. I took the TV down, and you can see the camera monitor has been unhooked, but I can't figure out how to get that thing down. I might have to take this big cloud acoustic panel down first to get back there. And that's the TV there. As you can see, no mix rack over here. It's all covered up nicely and ready to go. Whole bunch of stuff everywhere, including a whiskey drink. And totally empty rack over here. Obviously no gear in here at all. And I'm not really sure what to do with this because it's metal. It's a Tascam. It's actually a really good rack. I just have no use for it in the new studio, so not sure what I'm going to do about that. And then over here, so behind the speakers, when you used to see them, like obviously right now, the spotlight that's up there is shining down on this, which is lighting up this white enclosure for the speakers. But this is the 2x6 that, as you can see, I have these LED strips on, and that's what lit up the backside of these speaker enclosures. Obviously they're not on right now, but kind of sad to see the studio like this. It is just totally destroyed. Almost all of the cables are out. And when I say cables, I mean like the hard lines, all the snake cable, which is around here somewhere, that's been fully pulled out of the wall. So all 20 some channels or whatever it is. Yeah, there's actually nothing coming out of the wall anymore. You know, it's just such a disaster in here. It's amazing that when you do put all the pieces together, you know, in a space like this, it really doesn't seem cramped. But now that I have to put everything in boxes, it really kind of like puts things in perspective for me. So I don't even know what time it is. So it's 12:47. So I'm definitely gonna go to bed because I've been out here since 9 a.m. and tomorrow I'm obviously gonna have to come back out here and finish this up. And yeah, we'll get a little closer to getting this studio packed up and get it out of here. It is almost complete, all the packing. So now we are in the vocal booth, which obviously is not a vocal booth anymore. So I got some of my guitar cabs, drums, that type of stuff going on in here right now. There's the old Allen and Heath meter bridge. And then if we come into the storage room, you can see no drums anywhere, nothing except for that drum hardware is still in here. And if we come out here, here is the mixing console. It is obviously all taken apart, all the racks are gone, all the gear has been packed up, and yeah, this is what it looks like when nothing's going on, nothing's happening. And so what I'm gonna go ahead and do, so I'm gonna go ahead and lay some, like, I don't know, maybe some sort of blanket or fabric or something like that, something cushiony over the mixing console. And then I'm gonna put some cardboard boxes down over the top of that. So the blankets will help absorb any shock. The cardboard will help stop any impacts, like if something sharp or something, you know, hits it, at least it will kind of stop it as kind of a barrier. And then I'll wrap the whole thing in this shrink wrap stuff so that it's waterproof, because once again, this is going into storage, but last minute I've decided maybe I might bring this. So me and my wife are living at my parents' house for the first couple weeks in this transition time, especially while I'm working on the house. So I might bring it over to my parents' house because this is the one chance I have to fix some of the small little issues that are going on with this console. A couple channels, I'm pretty sure just needs to be recapped. A couple pots are a little scratchy, so I could replace and clean that and clean all the connections. So, you know, I don't often get a chance to, you know, have the console not hooked up. So I think this is a great time to do that. So I might bring it to my parents' house, which means another video for you guys to see inside of this thing. But we'll see. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is put on this. I took this blanket, and it's folded in half, so it's double thick, so it's pretty good. So I think this will kind of just fit over here like this. Most importantly, I want to cover those connections. This armrest thing, this whole armrest is getting redone. This fabric I put on here it was all right. It's starting to wear down though, so I definitely don't want that. That's it, and then just gonna throw this cardboard box on top that I've already cut for these edges here. Seems like it's gonna work. Now I have to find a way. Holy crap. I gotta find a way to wrap this thing because it is pretty friggin' heavy. Okay, so there it is. It's all wrapped up. Got the padding on there. Got 2 layers of cardboard and a whole bunch of shrink wrap. I even taped some of the shrink wrap, just really trying to really make sure that this thing doesn't get wet, damaged, anything during its little journey to a new location. Well, this is it. This is what the studio has turned out to be. A big pile of stuff. So, so tonight we are going to go ahead and move all this stuff into the storage container. As you can see, all these acoustic diffusers are off. The acoustic panels still need to come down, but those aren't going to come down until I get all the stuff out of here. Figured it'd just be a lot easier. No more sign. Once again, all the acoustic diffusion. And yeah, it's really kind of weird in here. I'm just so used to it not being like this. So this is it, guys. This is essentially the day of. We're gonna go ahead and pack everything up into the storage container tonight. This view behind me, that is all the stuff. All nicely packed. It's not like I'm gonna miss my things. But it's just so weird to not have a studio. I mean, I've had a studio for forever. I mean, I've moved in the past, but we were able, fortunately, to, buy another home in the past. And I was able to build the studio while still having a studio at the other location, so that the transition was literally just pack up gear in a car and just drive it, 20, 30 minutes away. So this is really different for me this time. The fact that I'm not gonna have a studio for a month and a half ish, hopefully no longer than that. That's really about it. I mean, not really much more to show you guys, and pretty much the next video that I'll be making will be the beginning of the new studio. So if it does take a week, 2, whatever, I do apologize for that. The closing on the new home is not going as smoothly as we hoped. We sold this home and this studio. That's all done. We have technically 3 more days to be packed up and get out of here. So all the gear and all of our stuff is leaving tomorrow. And then just our personal items are going to come with to the new house and to the new build. Even though I am building a totally soundproof, acoustically treated control room, so where I will be with the mixing console and all the gear, I'm also going to be building the live room, the vocal booth, the drum room. So maybe if you guys aren't super interested in how to build a control room, maybe the live space, the vocal booth. I'm gonna show you guys how to build acoustic panels, bass traps. Might get into Helmholtz resonators, which is kind of like a type of acoustic treatment that kind of focuses in on a particular frequency. And that is because every wall, everything has a resonant frequency, and if you have buildup of a similar frequency, it can really make mixing a big problem in a room. So I don't really know yet. We'll have to see how the whole build process goes, but I'm gonna be building a new desk for my mixing console. Maybe some of you guys wanna see that. The racks that go on the side of the actual mixing console. I'm gonna show you guys how to build those. And then once again, the acoustic treatment, the acoustic diffusion. I'm gonna build a whole different array of them this time. And also the wiring. We're gonna do custom wiring throughout the whole thing, because I'm gonna run 24 mic lines into the control room and back, because I want to be able to track full band like I could here. The live room is going to be a little bigger, so it kind of gives me the option to make things a little bigger, have some more, use more of the inputs on the mixing console. Not even saying that I'm, gonna be doing that a lot anyways, but I always have the option. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you guys very soon with another video, and we'll be starting to build the brand new studio. So thank you for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, click that like button and consider subscribing for more content. So not only do I make YouTube videos, but I also produce tracks and I can mix and master your music. So once again, thank you for watching this video. I'm Weezna, and True Sound Studios is in your ears.